8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, fam? This is the Two Goat Show. I'm your host, Miriah. Steph is not available. Hopefully, she joins us in a little bit, but we're going on. The show must go on. I'm joined with a very special guest. Dee loves sports. She is our Steelers guest today. She's going to fill us in with all Steelers things through her eyes. We're going to find out all about the Steelers. Dee, I appreciate you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Let
for
the
having
people
me.
know all about you. Let them know what you got going on, who you are, all that good stuff.
So I am D. D Love Sports. You can find me on pretty much every social media as D Love Sports. I do a podcast during the Steelers season called the Steelers Chat. You can find me on YouTube. Also, I do a show on Twitter Spaces called Sports and Coffee. You can find us there. We're talking sports 2 hours every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. So come through Twitter or X Spaces. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to the new term here. X Spaces. You can come find me there too.
Yeah, I'm still not used to it because even when I just put I put all her info in the description of this video, and when I
Yeah,
was doing that, I still put Twitter. I didn't put X. So
it's all right. It's
you
gonna
just
take some
reminded me
people are
when you
gonna
said,
refuse. They're gonna
um,
refuse to go over to the other side.
yeah. And the sports and coffee, I tried to make it, and I get so excited when I finally wake up and I see that it's still live, and I log in there, and then it's like, okay, I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Click. Like, oh, okay. I
Yeah,
see this.
that 11 o'clock. Some days it comes fast, and some days I'm like, where is 11 o'clock? Because these people are living like they're out of control today.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we used to have shows where I would call it overtime, and people from like the West Coast would love to come in. It is brutal. I know if you are living
Yeah.
outside the Eastern time zone to catch us, I know it's hard because
Yeah, it is rough.
so early. So I appreciate every single person outside of the Eastern time zone that comes and listens to Sports and Coffee.
Yeah, it is a great show, though. So let's get into it. I have a couple questions just about the Steelers, and then we'll get into the matchup a little bit. I know you have things to do, so I have to get you out of here.
It's week
Um,
one. We all got something to do. We got a
yes,
lot of football to
yes.
watch.
Thank goodness football is finally here. Oh my goodness. So the Steelers. Let me know just kind of what's the Steelers' outlook this season? Where do you have them, shaping up in the division? How do you have your season looking? Like,
Mhm. So
how's the season looking for you guys?
So I'll start with my minimum for the Pittsburgh Steelers every single year is a minimum of 10 games. So 10-7 is the bottom for me always. So and the ceiling is just like is the sky, right? So I always start with 10-7 and go from there because I know I see every year this team is capable of winning 10 games in my mind with Mike Tomlin being your head coach, with the
Mm-hmm.
pieces that they, are consistently picking up, 10 games to me is a bare minimum.
Yeah.
So that's where I see them. As far as the division goes, I think it's one of the toughest in the NFL. The AFC North is pretty locked and it's loaded with talent. And so I could see the Steelers going from anywhere from 1 to 3 in that division and then still all being playoff teams. I mean, we've seen it before, 3 teams going to the playoffs in that division. I feel like this is one of those years where it could happen again. So anywhere from 1 to 3 in the AFC North, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna you know, argue that point that another team in that division could be over them because it just looks like a really, really good division.
Yeah. I think Steelers fans are kind of spoiled because, like you said, you guys do have, such a
Hmm.
great coach. And
Oh, they are. They
how many
are. I'm a
seasons
reasonable one though.
that you guys haven't had a losing record? It's like some outrageously long time,
I
right?
feel like the 70s or something. I don't know. Like it's been I wasn't here for it. Let's just say I didn't really live through it. The losing era of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy because, even being a 49ers fan, but like growing up, when I think about football and just growing up and watching football, even though my family's Eagles fans,
Mhm.
um, but just growing up, even when I think about football, just Super Bowl parties at friends' houses and just football in general, I think about the Steelers. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think about football without the Steelers being on, or the Steelers being in the Super Bowl, or the Steelers being in the playoffs, or the Steelers being relevant, you know? So, like, got that, man. Got to be
Yeah, and
nice.
I think that reputation kind of is why they're not one of those teams that's always in the media. They're not the team like you love to hate. They're kind of like the team that just gets forgotten about because like, oh yeah, they'll be around. Oh yeah, yeah, it's the Steelers, whatever. I feel like they're kind of that team that just kind of just sitting there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I get it.
Um, what game, well, I guess games, are you the most, do you think is your most favorable this season, and the one that you're the most worried about?
The most worried about. I'm gonna go like real Mike Tomlin right here. I'm focused on the opponent in front of us, which is the 49. I'm focused on who that opponent is in front of us. So I'm most worried about beating the San Francisco 49ers right now. But if you look down the line on the schedule, I really want to beat everybody in our division. So those are the critical games to me. I know that we can beat guys outside of the division, but I our division is tough and those wins are gonna matter the most. So those looking forward, those are the teams that they're must wins for me. Um, but of course the matchup on Sunday, which is the 49ers, is where I'm most concerned right now.
Yeah. Hey, Steph.
Hey, Steph.
Hey, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm getting my like schedules all mixed up, and for some reason, Mariah, like in my head, I'm like, we do this at I'm Mountain Time. I'm like, we do these at like 5. So I went for a walk, and like, so that's why I'm a little bright and
Skipping down the street when there's supposed to
yeah,
be
I'm
Same
a
like
here.
all shiny because I got
I'm on
sunscreen and
East Coast
sweat,
time,
but
so I probably messed up the flow here, and I apologize.
no.
no, no, not at all. I'm so sorry,
So
but glad you're
talking
here,
about
Dee.
talking about that game that's in front of you. Let's get into it. We had some big news that dropped for 49ers fans yesterday, and that was finally. And I mean, the Steelers fans know all about this going down to the last minute with, one of your star defensive players, right? Like in contract disputes.
Mhm.
Um, Finally, Nick Bosa signs his contract yesterday, right in time to play for week one. What are your thoughts on, what were you guys planning on him being available for week one, getting it done in time? Or were you guys planning to play us without Nick Bosa? What are your thoughts when, you
I
heard the news
There's
break that
one
he
thing I
signed?
know about Mike Tomlin. If there's a man that's supposed to be on that field for whatever reason, if it's an injury, if it's whatever, they're game planning as if that person's going to be there. So there are some things that came out and said we're planning that he was going to be there before he signed. Then he signed, and the Bosa, I call them the Bosa Barbs, came out of the woodworks. They were really quiet, and I was rooting for him to get signed because I said I don't want any excuse.
Right.
Okay. I don't want not one excuse as to why this team lost, and Bosa being one of those excuses. So the Barbs, they're really quiet and they were like, oh, we'll be okay without him. And then now that he's signed, it's like, oh, you're not gonna beat us now. You had a little inkling of a chance, but it's over now. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers week one, that's a different type of defense. They've come, and I said this on the Steelers chat. I just finished wrapping that. Like week one, Pittsburgh Steelers defense, those guys don't mess with them. Don't play with them. TJ Watt week one, you don't want that problem. You really don't. So I appreciate it. I respect it. I'm glad I am pro player. I'm glad Bosa got his money. But let's be honest, TJ Watt had to walk and crawl so Nick Bosa could run and rob the 49ers.
That's
Oh,
true.
she
Yeah.
said Rob. No, but Dee,
No,
like
that's true.
but I agree with you. Like week one Steelers, I know this is a very tough matchup. What is it about the Steelers in week one with this defense that you think makes them so dangerous?
I really can't explain it other than the energy that they play with. If you add the element of what I saw from the inside linebacker group, they just play crazy. Like, I don't know if you remember last year. I 2 years ago when they played the Buffalo Bills week 1, I said, you know what, we're gonna lose this game. It's okay, it's in Buffalo, whatever. I'll take that first week L. But that defense came, our offense was our trash. Like, our offense could not stay on the field. The defense was out there just doing whatever they could. But you got strip sacks and fumble. Like, they make
Yeah.
magic happen week 1. If you saw any of the game last year against the Bengals, Minka Fitzpatrick single-handedly pretty much won that game, like with his hands. One, scoring a touchdown, and two, blocking an extra point. It's just something that they have, that they drink and they eat and they put it out on that field week 1, and I cannot explain it other than it's an energy that they have, that I want some of it. Bottle it up and give it to me.
Yeah, I think it's the Tomlin effect, honestly. I mean,
It could be.
I think he just has his guys prepared, and I know like Tomlin was asked about why he likes to play his starters a bit more than maybe other teams do in the preseason, and it's because he wants his guys to be prepared come
Yep.
week 1. Like, you've already played with that energy, and you already had all your starters out there, and so I think it just helps them ramp up to week 1. Whereas the 49ers, like, I don't know if you're aware, but like historically under Kyle Shanahan, they've had slow starts, aside from maybe the 2019 season where they started 8-0, but they need some time to get their footing a bit. So given that the Steelers defense is so good in week 1, and given the 49ers historically slow starts, I do think like this could be a recipe for disaster for the 49ers. But I am just hoping, from our perspective, that Nick Bosa and him being back, it seemed to inject some adrenaline to the 49ers. And I'm really hoping they can take that to carry into this matchup too. And it could just be a very hard fought battle between two really good teams.
Yeah. You mentioned those, big name guys. Obviously, we know the TJ Watt, the Cam Hayward, the Minka. Who's a name
And
maybe
Alex
that
Highsmith, don't forget him.
I can go on and on, obviously, with the well-known guys, but who's a name maybe, that 49ers fans aren't well known with, that maybe we might be better well known with after this Sunday's game, that we should keep an eye on?
Okay, I'll start on
Maybe
the
offense,
offense.
defense, both.
I'll start on the offense just because we've been heavy on the defensive side, but one guy that I think is going to really show the world what he's capable of. He's already proven it to me. It's Connor Haywood, which is Cam Hayward's younger brother. They are really calling him like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, you see him on special teams. He can fill the tight end role. He can fill the fullback role. He can do so many things. To me, I think he is the guy that he plays bigger than his size, and he's the guy that probably isn't going to get looked at and as much. And another guy that's new, he's a rookie, Darnell Washington. Heard about him?
Yep.
If you haven't, you will. Okay. He's gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the guy probably touching on Nick Bosa. So, and that element right there, where he becomes dangerous, he's like a sixth lineman, but he can catch if we need him to, right? He's that tight end that can do a lot of different things, and that's dangerous. And I think part of the beginning of the season, you'll probably just see him doing a lot of just tackling and keeping the quarterback and whoever's running the ball or whatever safe, right? So you won't see him he'll be doing a lot of guard work. You won't see him a whole lot, probably some red zone packages, right? But on the defensive side of the ball, please watch out for these inside linebackers. You may not be familiar with them. They're still new to us. Elandon Roberts, Cole Holcomb, Mark Robinson, who was a rookie last year, Quan Alexander, who we picked up recently.
Yeah.
It's hard. Okay. So you're familiar, right? So the inside linebackers, they impressed me in the preseason. And Connor impressed me. And I think you already know what George Pickens is capable of. You can't leave Deontay Johnson unblocked. And I'll say this first on your show. I haven't said it on mine yet. I think the Steelers have one of the top running back rooms in the league. I know you guys have CMC and everything, but
okay.
Najee and Jalen, that's a good duo right there.
Do you think we see a lot of Allen Robinson in this one? Like, how are you guys feeling about Allen Robinson? Because I know that, you know, he's underperformed the last couple years. And do you feel like he can maybe get involved in the game plan come Sunday? Because I know the question for the 49ers is like nickel and who's going to be at nickel. And I think right now it's dependent on, well, who's going to be the wide receiver there. So if it's Allen Robinson, that could dictate who, you know, who
it's definitely that's where I see him. And, you know, for those middle of the field, and then between him and then Pat Fryermuth, depending on, you know, if Darnell's in as well, right? But yeah, that's why I see him. I feel like he's one of those let me help get Kenny out of trouble type, you know, roles. So I like if you see Kenny roll out, look for 11, look for him. Because I just feel like he's going to be a safety net. He's a veteran, and I do see use for him. I don't know what other people see, but I see that veteranness coming to help Kenny when he's in trouble.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know we only have a couple minutes, and I got to get you out of here. So let me know what your prediction is for this game. How do you see this one shaping up?
So for this game, and we struggled for the last, I don't know, year or so, getting to 21. So I always kind of prelude to 21 being this magical number. And the first to 21 to me wins the game for what I've known them to be. Okay. This new team, I don't know, but I'm stuck with that until they show me otherwise. So the first to 21 wins. I feel like the Steelers can get 24, but I'm just gonna say 23 to something like 19 Steelers. So but I see them getting that 21. I think Brock Purdy's gonna struggle. I'm already calling it a Brock Purdy, a Purdy pity party. They're gonna be feeling sorry for that kid. By the time he's done, they're gonna be like, y'all, let's get him out of here. Wrap him up.
Oh, no.
Purdy party in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's my prediction, but I think it's gonna be a good game. I think you know, once the guys I don't know how you guys did in preseason or who played what or how long. But once you get the rust off and, you know, those first real big hits happen, it is what it is. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm expecting a great game. I'm excited and kind of feel, I don't know.
Come on, Miriah. That's
want to say.
I know.
You're worrying me right now. You're worrying me right now.
Screw you to the NFL.
Energy. Come on now.
Screw you to the NFL for giving us Steelers week 1.
It's tough.
In Pittsburgh,
and we don't have a lot of week 1 home openers. It's been a while since we've opened a season up at home. So this is the crowd. I am praying the crowd is electrified. But you guys travel well as well. So there will be some 49ers in there. But I'm just hoping this crowd is as energetic as can be, because sometimes they get on my nerves as far as their energy levels. But I'm just hoping that they come through for us on Sunday. But I mean, how are you feeling about your run game? I know this is your show, but I'm asking questions.
No, I think it's good. 49ers run game, I think, is going to be pretty good in this one. I mean, they got Christian McCaffrey, Elijah. I would say the 49ers probably have one of the better, running back rooms in the league. Elijah Mitchell, when he's healthy, all right, you got to put an asterisk next to that, because when he's healthy, I think that's one of the better duos in the league. And also, you can't forget Deebo Samuel, who I think could be an X factor in this game, because I think every defense has to respect Christian McCaffrey. Wherever he goes on the field, you have to account for him, maybe even have 2 guys over him at all times. And then there's Deebo, who's just as dangerous, right? So I kind of think that, with that, they can open some things up and make things easy for Brock Purdy. I shouldn't say easy, because I don't think this will be an easy game for Brock Purdy at all. But, those small dump offs, maybe some screens here and there, I think they're going to have to rely on that to move the ball.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of see it as the pressure is definitely we're gonna force him to make the mistakes, right?
Mhm.
So and that's what I truly feel is gonna happen and has to happen, because you can't as much as you want to double team with TJ Watt, there's still Alex Highsmith on the other side. You still got a Cam up front. Like you want to account for TJ, but then what you guys don't, you probably haven't heard about Nick Herbig. He's
Oh,
you
I
know he's
have.
getting, oh, you have, okay, all right, as long as you're familiar, it's
He's a
fine.
beast.
He will be in, and I don't want people to think because he's on the depth chart behind an Alex Highsmith that he won't be in there. He will be in there, and he is a playmaker, and just watch out.
Herbig going to the Steelers is like one of those, like, why would anyone let that happen? It's like the Eagles getting who was it from Alabama, the Eli Ricks. Like, who let this happen? It's kind of like, and Darnell Washington. Yeah, both of those guys to fall to the Steelers is like, oh my god. But yeah, Herbig is dangerous. I would expect he's gonna have an impact on this game potentially as well. But hopefully he's rushing from Trent Williams' side, because if he is, he's not gonna do anything.
Okay.
All right.
She said, all right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate having you on. Sorry about the late start.
No, it's okay. I wish we played you
about
guys twice this year so I can come back.
Yeah, but we'll definitely have to do something again. We'll figure something out.
Okay, you guys have a wonderful time, and let's
Thank
talk.
you.
Let's talk
Yeah.
post
Definitely.
week 1. Okay.
All right, let's do it. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Thanks.
All right. See you, D. Thank you.
Bye.